Good evening and welcome back to Home Bar Network. It's Cody. Tonight we have two of my favorite cocktails of all time, the Paper Plane and the Old Fashioned. A little bit different than you'd normally see them. Tonight we're going to do an Old Fashioned with rum, and we're going to be doing a Paper Plane with Tennessee whiskey instead of bourbon. So let's get started. The rum that we're going to use tonight is Diplomatico Mantuano. This is a fantastic Panamanian rum. It's a blend of different aged rums. And then we're going to be using Montenegro, Amaro in our Paper Plane, along with Aperol, and like I said, Tennessee whiskey. This is Uncle Nearest 1884, and a little bit of fresh squeezed lemon juice. So for the Old Fashioned, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with a peel of lime. Normally with your Old Fashioned, you're gonna start with orange peel, right? But being that this is rum and lime go together so well, I'm gonna use some lime. And I'm gonna get a couple peels because limes are so small. Normally with an Old Fashioned and you're using an orange, you can get a big swath of orange peel. Tonight, with the lime, a couple peels is gonna equal that amount. And then we're going to add bitters to it. I'm gonna go in with some Angostura classic bitters, my fave, as many of you know. I'm just gonna do 3 dashes of Angostura bitters. And then I'm actually going to use some orange bitters from Hella Cocktail Company. 2 to 3 dashes of that. And we're going to muddle that right now, just the citrus and the bitters together. You don't really want to muddle with a lot of ingredients in your mixing glass because it can tend to splash up into your face and you can lose some of your cocktail. So pressing the lime peels, you want to get some of those oils out and integrate them with the bitters. Now we're going to add our rum, Diplomatico Mantuano. We're going to do 2 ounces. And we're going to add a little bit of Rich Demerara Syrup. And this is just Demerara 2-to-1 to water, so that it's a little bit heavier, a little bit richer, a little bit of a more complex flavor as opposed to a regular simple syrup. And that's just a 1/4 ounce. And now we're going to add a little bit of ice. And we're gonna stir, as we always do when we don't include citrus directly in the cocktail. We're not going to shake. We're going to stir this, and about 40 seconds or 40 rotations until your glass is chilled. And that's gonna give us that proper dilution that we're looking for, make the alcohol soft enough for us to drink, and integrate our bitters, our citrus, our sweetener, and our spirit together. And I love to feel the outside of the glass until it's really chilled. It's kind of my internal clock when I know that it's done. And we're gonna strain this onto a big block of ice. And as your garnish, you're gonna get 1 final peel of lime. Lime goes so well with rum, being that they're both so tropical, but lime was first added to rum for sailors to not get scurvy, right? Because you don't have any way to get vitamin C when you're on a ship in the middle of the ocean. Lime provides that vitamin C, protects against scurvy, and it just happened to go with rum, and it's been kind of one of those things that we've used over the years. So you're going to express this over the top of the cocktail, and wipe your rim, and drop your lime peel inside, and that is your Rum Old Fashioned. Substituting lime for orange and rum for whiskey, and still using a rich simple syrup, Angostura bitters, and a little orange bitters. Cheers.
Sitting here.
And that is a perfectly tropical Old Fashioned. Exactly what you want in the summertime with a big, refreshing block of ice. Next, we have our Paper Plane. And we're gonna switch a couple things out here. We're going to use a shaker and not a mixing glass. And we're going to do equal parts in this cocktail. This cocktail is fantastic because anybody can make it at home. It's really simple, being that all of the components are the exact same amount. Now, the real recipe calls for 3/4 of an ounce of each ingredient. If you were to come to my bar and sit down and you were a regular or a friend of mine, I'm gonna pour you 1 ounce of each ingredient, and that's kind of a bartender secret. You can ask a lot of bartenders about that, they'll probably say the same thing. But for everyone else, it's 3/4 of an ounce of each one. So since you guys are friends of mine, we're gonna do 1 ounce of each. Here's an ounce of our Uncle Nearest. This is Tennessee whiskey. And this is our 1884 Uncle Nearest. And then we're gonna do 1 ounce of Aperol, Italian aperitif. Then we've got our Amaro Montenegro, fantastic Italian bitter liqueur. For those of you that haven't seen previous videos or aren't familiar, Amaro actually means bitter in Italian. So it's an entire class of Italian digestif that are bitter, and they use different roots and herbs and spices to make these fantastic liqueurs. And last but not least, we're gonna have some lemon juice, fresh squeezed lemon juice, also 1 ounce. Straight in. And we're gonna give this a good shake because we do have the citrus. We're gonna shake this for about a long 10-second count. We want that 30% dilution in this cocktail. And this is what we want right here. We're gonna grab an ice cold coupe out of the fridge here. And I'm gonna double strain this cocktail because I don't want any ice chips floating around. I want it to be really smooth. And that is your paper plane, created by Sam Ross in New York City. And he was listening to the MIA song Paper Planes when he created the cocktail. And that's where he got the name from. It's one of the most balanced cocktails I think I've ever had in my life. It's a perfect mix of your spirit, your bitter, your aperitif, and your citrus. It's not too sweet, not too sour, not too spirit forward. It's a crowd pleaser. Everybody loves this cocktail. So make one at home, guys. It's super easy. Cheers.